year 2015, there is a growing resistance to the natural environment through a preference towards artificially enhanced environments. This biophobia, coupled with the large sprawling nature of our cities, with many separate communities and unsustainable ways of living, has caused an ideal city to be created on top of the old city to form a new landscape for life. As our population increased, instead of building up, we grew out. As a result, communities spread further and further apart, becoming isolated from one another. The key notion of a city is to bring people together to promote social interactions and exchange of ideas and goods. This ideal had been left behind, as cities became hurried places with everyone focused on themselves. They viewed the world from an anthropocentric point of view. Places to stop and interact with other people and the environment became less important, and instead places for private profit over the good of the public, such as large retail malls and office buildings sprang up, and slowly but surely what was left of the green spaces was engulfed by concrete. In the old city, people lived a very unsustainable life. They used non-renewable sources of energy, used the natural resources recklessly, production of food was done in an unsustainable way, and they created unnatural materials that were unable to be recycled or reused. Cities became clouded in smog from the build-up of pollutants from this unsustainable way of life. As the biophobia grew and connections with nature became weaker, inhabitants let the natural world fall into disrepair with no regard to future generations. My ideal city will bring back what it truly means to be a city through vertical community farms that produce an architecture that not only connects its inhabitants to the natural environment, but also promotes interaction between each other to create a stronger community. My ideal city is self-sustaining and sustainable, and the key ideals are biophilia and resilience. Energy will be harvested through hydropower and wind power. The method of producing food is by vertical community, which for a close-knit community. This farming is primarily for the protection of different species, the well-being of the inhabitants, and the creation of strong community, but also for the production of food. The direct contact that inhabitants have to the natural environment not only ensures their physical and psychological well-being, but it enhances their emotional and spiritual connections with their surroundings, encouraging them to care for the environment to ensure it does not fall into disrepair once again. The ideal city has an intimate connection with the community farms to ensure the well-being of the inhabitants. These areas are a chance for people to connect with their surroundings and to each other to form a stronger community through social bonds. This city recognises this innate human need and has created an architecture that nurtures this bond. The ideal city has produced an architecture that allows society to determine their own spaces. This adaptability is important to allow the city to change and grow in response to the environment and the needs of the people. It will introduce a form of spontaneity and excitement in the design of the city. It is thought that this starting ideal city will be able to be replicated and joined together to create larger cities once the population grows or the needs of the inhabitants change.